Hey everybody, Ace Trenilium here, and since starting out on YouTube almost a year and a half ago, one of the most common questions I get asked is, Liam, what's your favourite legendary Pokemon? Well, truth be told, there aren't many legendary Pokemon I do like. In my opinion, most legendary Pokemon are either overpowered, overused, or just plain overrated. Like, don't get me wrong, it's common knowledge that Primal Groudon wins battles. That's why practically every competitor in the 2016 VGC has this Pokemon on their team. But that doesn't necessarily mean it takes a lot of skill to use. It's more to do with the fact that it's only weak to ground type moves, and its main attacking move is a 120 base power stab move, which combined with its 180 base attack stat is pretty hard to survive against. Unless of course you're a flying type or you're levitating. The other thing that bothers me with quote unquote legendary Pokemon is that half the time they're only given out as events, so you don't even have to make the effort to try and catch them. They're literally just handed to you. And if they're Pokemon that play a key role in the story, their catch rate is significantly increased so that you can even catch them in quick balls without using a single attack. I'm looking at you, Yveltal. But anyway, even with the disdain that I have for a lot of the concepts surrounding legendary Pokemon, there are still a select few that are cool enough to grab my attention. So today, I'm going to be counting down my top 5 legendary Pokemon.
Number 5, Volcanion.
Now I know a bunch of you are going to be like, hey Liam, this Pokemon isn't even legally obtainable in the game yet. How can this be one of your favourites, you hacker? You better go kill yourself, you hacker. Hold your horses, buddy. Just because Volcanion isn't a publicly available Pokemon at the time of making this video, that doesn't mean I can't appreciate just how cool a Pokemon it is. It's designed off of Ryukyu and Shisa, yeah, try saying that 3 times fast, which are kind of legendary dog-lion hybrids, and it's definitely one of the cooler looking legendaries of the past few generations. Not to mention, I love the unique typing of fire and water, as well as Volcanion having one of my favourite abilities, which is Water Absorb. Couple this with its awesome signature move Steam Eruption, which is basically Scald, and yes, I get it, Steam Eruption's less accurate than Scald, but a zoom lens will soon sort that out, since Volcanion isn't exactly speedy. But nevertheless, this thing is awesome.
Number 4, Kyogre.
This thing isn't just a beautiful killer whale looking mother flipper, it's also a powerhouse. Its base 150 special attack is a great asset alongside its bulky base special defense, decent base physical defense, and admirable base HP stat. This rain summoning Leviathan is just an all-round stocky water type machine. And I'm not even talking about its primal form, this thing doesn't even need to primally revert to wreak havoc. In all honesty though, I do prefer the look of Kyogre's regular form as opposed to its primal form. It is beautiful. And what would you expect from a pure water type legendary? Sorry Suicune, you're beautiful and all, but you're not Kyogre.
Number 3, Dialga.
This dinosaur looking badass is what a legendary Pokemon should look like. Huge, intimidating, it looks like something from an ancient legend. I'm not quite sure how this thing went about creating the phenomenon that is time, but we'll let that slide, since this guy is a boss. This thing's only weaknesses are fighting and ground, and with it having 9 resistances and 1 immunity, there aren't many types that can actually deal decent damage to this behemoth. Maybe it's because Pokemon Diamond was the game that got me back into Pokemon, but Dialga has always been a legendary Pokemon that has stood out from the pack for me. It's just a fantastic combination of design, typing, and power, and it really does itself justice. Every time. Get it? Time? Ugh, God.
Number 2, Rayquaza.
Now firstly, if you're one of those people who pronounces it Rayquaza, that's fine. We're all different, and we're all allowed to have different ways of pronouncing things. You say tomato, I say tomato. You say aluminum, I say aluminium. You say dog, I say, oh my god, Poppy, it's so cute, so fluffy, so lurid, I just need it in my life. Getting back on topic, there's just so much to love about Rayquaza. It takes inspiration from the Hebrew legend of Ziz and the Aztec legend of Rayquaza, and as a result it looks absolutely stunning with its cool serpent design that reminds everybody of those cheap plastic snake things that all the cool kids used to own. It's a key player in the lore of Hoenn, being the only being capable of ending the fight between Groudon and Kyogre, and is also the only Pokemon at present that can Mega Evolve without a Mega Stone or Mega Ring being involved, which kind of makes you question whether it is Mega Evolution, since it doesn't need a strong bond with a trainer. Professor Sycamore, you lied to me! But I'm not actually here to talk about Mega Rayquaza, because in my opinion it's just way over-designed. It's just got so many things hanging from it, it looks less like Mega Rayquaza and more like Mr. T Quaza. I pity the fool that he's a Mega Stone. What was that voice? Plus, even though Mega Rayquaza gets a little boost in base speed and has the highest base stat total in the game, tied with Mega Mewtwo X and Y, it's still slower than my boy Noivern, so Mega Rayquaza can eat my dust. As for regular Rayquaza, it's just a beautifully put together Pokemon. It looks like the stuff of legend, it's got a great set of stats, and an ability that negates the effects of weather is extremely useful in the current generation of Pokemon, where weather plays an integral part in high stakes battles.
Number 1. Mewtwo.
Oh my god, you Gen 1er, you suck because you like things that existed before I was born. If you love Gen 1 so much, why don't you marry it? When you look in the mirror, all you see is Gen 1, you Gen 1er. People only like Gen 1 because they think it sounds cool. How dare you have your own opinion? Don't you dare disagree with me because I have freedom of speech.
Whoa, are you finished, buddy? The fact that Mewtwo is the original OP legendary has nothing to do with why I like it so much. I like Mewtwo for its backstory, because I feel it's unique compared to most legendary Pokemon. Mewtwo wasn't born millions of years ago, or thousands, or even hundreds. It wasn't there at the creation of the cosmos and didn't help form the seas, the continents, space, or time. It doesn't grant wishes or protect the planet from chaos. Mewtwo was born in the mid-90s and thus is only a couple of decades old, and it wasn't naturally born. It was created by humans to serve humans. During its early days, it was experimented on by humans, and it was controlled by humans, until it couldn't take any more suffering and had to escape. Mewtwo has such a dark and twisted backstory, it's hard not to feel sympathy for this tortured Pokemon. I think a lot of us have felt used and taken advantage of at one time or another, and that really makes me relate to Mewtwo.
Hashtag relatable.
Not to mention, the genetic Pokemon has fantastic stats for a non-Mega Evolved Pokemon, and also has two of the most powerful Mega Evolutions in the game. Mewtwo's design is incredibly simple, but so effective. You can tell just by looking at it that it's not just an animal like a lot of Pokemon. You can see that it's a thinking, feeling, almost human being. And that, in my opinion, makes it the most powerful legendary of all. And let's not forget, this guy was a badass in the first movie. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit like if you did, and of course subscribe for more videos from me. But until next time, I'm Ace Trainer Liam. Keep on training.